Hello and welcome back to the Give and Go. I'm your coach Reynoso here with my boy
Soltero. What's up, y'all?
We're doing a little bit of a transfers updates here as we've had a lot of movement in the world of football. Some movement that could excite you as a football fan, and some movement that could piss you off, bro. And that's exactly where I want to start. It's a move that pisses me off. I'm sure is going to piss you off and is going to piss off a lot of people off. I can see you thinking right now. Do you want to take a jab at what this might be?
That'll piss people off.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, more so because of the attitude of this player, of the way his career has gone, the way things are going. Disappointing for what people touted to be a 120 million euro player at one point.
I just don't even think about this guy anymore. I just don't even think about Joao Felix.
Joao Felix for 26 million euros goes from Chelsea to Al Nassr. He surpasses 200 million in total transfer value in terms of how much he's been sold for and how much he's been tossed around for. Yeah. And now he's going to go join Cristiano Ronaldo's side, Portuguese duo, to hopefully revive his career as he's had a bad couple of years in football.
I think Saudi Arabia is where he belongs, truly. And honestly, I think he could thrive there. Because if you just isolate Felix for the player that he has quick feet, he can dribble past a certain type of defender. And I think that defender's definitely in Asia. Like, let's just be completely honest. So I think this is a good move for him. Europe was just not working anymore. No matter where he went, he would start playing and then his minutes would just dwindle until eventually the club just had to kick him out. And so now he's going to Saudi Arabia. He's going to Al Nassr. I truly think he can actually flourish there. Probably, hopefully win some silverware finally for Al Nassr. This is the right move for Joao Felix. You look at the rest of his resume, though, it can be a little saddening, frustrating, depressing.
I think because of what he's shown on his resume, I mean, this isn't an A+ student. So you can't make the assumption that he's going to just thrive right off the bat. It is likely. It is very likely, especially in Saudi Arabia. But what if he doesn't, bro?
Right.
What if he doesn't figure out Saudi Arabia?
Well, then he's got to go to... he'll have to figure it out. Maybe he goes to Peru or something.
Yeah, bro. I'm thinking he has to go to the Americas after that. But that's where we're at with Felix. Is a player that didn't work out in Europe. That I've seen a lot of comments about his work ethic, his want on the pitch, and then more so, just ultimately his skill. Benfica. Highway robbery, what they did to Atletico Madrid, being able to sell him for 120 million, being able to bank off of that really good season he had in the Portuguese league at a young age. But Joao Felix ultimately never was that talent again. He never had the ability truly to reach the heights that he showcased in a much weaker league, because in every league since then, it's been disappointment after disappointment. That's the story of Joao Felix. And now at 25 years old, goes to Al Nassr to hopefully revive his career and at the very least try to continue to vie for those Portuguese national team call-ups, which I think could still very well be in the mix for him.
Yeah, if he puts up numbers, yeah. But I don't know if he's going to put up numbers. I think he'll just be a guy who can dribble past 2-3 defenders, maybe lay it off. He's never really been a team player, so maybe this is the time that he can just kind of rethink how he plays and how he forms with his teammates on the pitch. He's still only 25.
25.
So, like, his prime is just beginning. He could still develop at least his mentality. And, yeah, maybe some Portuguese call-ups are in the books for him, maybe off the bench.
So you're more of a Felix optimist then? It's not more optimistic than that.
I wouldn't say optimist. I think Saudi Arabia is always a good move if Europe's not working.
Do you think you have a little bit of a soft spot for a guy who at one point gave you so much hope and excitement? Would that be true?
God, that was such a different time.
You're excited, man.
Such a different time. I really thought Felix could basically replace Griezmann, and I knew it was going to take a couple of years, but after that first season and going into the second season, I realized that Simeone just wasn't even playing him. I was like, there's no relationship here. Felix doesn't want to be here. There's nothing. There's nothing. And unfortunately, that energy carried with him to every single club he went to. I wonder if Simeone had anything to do with like Felix's like struggle with figuring things out. Because what needed to happen for Felix at Atletico was to be a team player. He needed to listen to Simeone's tactics and implement himself in that way. But Felix, I just think he was too young. He wanted to, just do things his own way. It's not going to work at a team like Atletico.
Yeah, a little bit of ego on that kid, a little bit. And it didn't work out, and it didn't work out at Chelsea either. Felix is gone from Europe, going to Al Nassr. But I think the biggest headline while we were gone, the biggest headline so far in the transfer market revolves around Liverpool and players that they've sold and players that they've acquired. Let's go with the one that they just sold most recently. Luis Diaz has finally been acquired by Bayern Munich for, I believe, around 75 million euros. Bayern Munich gets their winger. They get an aggressive, creative scorer and dribbler, and Luis Diaz, the Colombian, an electric player that I fell in love with in his time with Liverpool, and I really do want to highlight that because he gave us so many good moments, scored some banger goals. He had some electric runs on the wing and just became a great team player, which is what I think Bayern will really like about him, and what Bayern fans will really like about him is that he plays for the badge on his shirt. He gives his everything every single game. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's somewhat mediocre, but he gives it all on the pitch at the end of the day. So for 75 mil in today's market, I think that's the price you're going to have to pay for a player like this. Bayern gets him, and Liverpool do lose a pretty big piece here.
I think for Bayern Munich specifically, this is an upgrade. They lost Leroy Sané over this offseason, and you get Luis Diaz as a replacement. That's positive for me. Now the front three is going to be Kane, Olise, Diaz. I think it's better than it was when Sané was in that lineup, or maybe it was Gnabry in rotation. Diaz is better than both of those wingers. He's going to come in. I'm not saying he scores 20 goals, but he's going to give more than Sané and Gnabry. This is a big, big move for Bayern Munich. I love it. I think Diaz is going to go off.
The more I think about it, the more I think it's a good move for Bayern.
Yeah.
Like I just keep going through it all. I don't see how this ends up being a bad move for them. We know that Luis Diaz has proven that he played for one of the best clubs in the world in Liverpool and delivered for us. I think it was like 17 goals last year. I could see him breaking 20 in the Bundesliga, where it's much more offensive and much more open. I guess what I'm curious about is, why would Luis Diaz want to leave? Because I feel like that was part of what happened here. He was asking for a move to leave what I think is pretty clearly the best team in the world going into this next season, just on paper. Why would he want to leave, man? And go to Bayern Munich, who is a top 10 team, but isn't the Bayern Munich of old, man?
I kind of took it as Liverpool were kind of scanning around the team saying who wanted to go. Not saying we're forcing you out, but is there anybody who wants to go make a lot of money and we'll send you to a good team? Because we're trying to sign Wirtz, we're trying to get Ekiteke. And I think they looked at Luis Diaz, and he had
his hand up in the bag.
He's like, I don't mind leaving Liverpool, because if Bayern Munich is the destination, as you already said, the Bundesliga is so offensive. It fits Luis Diaz's play style. I think it just worked out for both parties, truly.
And he's not going to get rotated. He got rotated a lot with Cody Gakpo with Liverpool. True. I think he's going to get the full license on that wing to just go off and do whatever he wants. He benefits by playing in the Bundesliga, I think, a lot. And I do think from the Bayern Munich perspective, this might be what completes their offensive line to be able to reach the heights that they reached in those mid-2010s/late 2010s, where they went on to win the UCL. This is the best offensive line they've had since then, bro. When you look at it, Olise, Harry Kane, and now Luis Diaz, there's not a single question mark up there, in my opinion. And for what Bayern is trying to build during what is a little bit of a rebuilding period for them these past couple of years, I think it's a great move to see what they can do truly against those top teams, because we saw in the Club World Cup, they still can't match up fully against PSG. We saw in the UCL, they still fell short. They're trying to regain that confidence, regain that know-how of how to make it deep to the UCL the way they have in years past. With this offensive line, I think they're solidifying any questions they had up top to set them up for future success.
No, absolutely. But Liverpool, I mean, basically have already replaced Luis Diaz, and I'm talking about the signing of Hugo Ekiteke. I want to know your thoughts on this, because just seeing all the comments online, I've actually talked to a couple of Frankfurt fans as well. They've given me their opinion on Ekiteke as a player. Oddly enough, I'm seeing mixed reviews, but I would say overall positive. What's your opinion on Ekiteke?
I would say it's a little mixed as well, man.
Okay.
I think it's a mixed review, because I saw him play for PSG when they were giving him minutes about 2 years ago prior to his Frankfurt move, and I was not impressed. Not impressed at all. I thought his touch was shoddy. He's a tall, lanky dude. He looks like Victor Wembanyama at times.
Okay.
and at that time in that season of PSG, he wasn't delivering the goals that they were asking out of him. It was too big of a responsibility. He was too young. That's all right. I can excuse that. And so they sent his ass to Germany, to Frankfurt, where him and Marmoush go absolutely bonkers. bonkers. And that's where I saw an Ekiteke that looked much more evolved, much more developed, and that could link up very well with an offensive playmaker like Marmoush. Marmoush gets sold to Manchester City. Ekiteke is left alone. He makes the move to Liverpool. I think that's good. It's promising. It's ultimately a move that I'm very happy about, because with Ekiteke, what you're looking at here is potential. You're looking at potential because of that evolution he had from what I would say mediocre forward to, okay, here's a dude in the Bundesliga scoring, like 20 goals and doing a quick turnaround just a couple of years skill-wise. What can he do in the Premier League with that physicality, with those weapons around him? What can he do that brings us success? So I'm excited about the potential that Hugo Ekiteke represents. I'm just a little fearful of the opposite side, of him not living up to that potential and us paying 80 million, 90 million, paying more than Marmoush was worth, bro. Which is crazy, because I think Marmoush is a better player. It's just the factor of age and more time being had for a young player like Ekiteke. That's where I get a little hesitant on, man. So that's where I stand. I'm a little mixed, but more so towards the positive side.
Yeah, the football economy makes no sense to me, because Ekiteke should not be this much. But when I look at Liverpool as being the one buying him, I'm like, oh, well, money doesn't matter to Liverpool, bro. And I think they've proved that this offseason. They're literally on a historic transfer run. Madrid hasn't done anything like this. Barcelona hasn't done anything like this. Chelsea's the only team that has actually spent more in one singular offseason. Wow. It's Chelsea and Liverpool now, not Madrid, Barcelona when it comes to transfers. So when I look at it from that perspective, I'm like, oh, okay, I don't care that they spent 80 mil on a guy like Ekiteke. But if we just take the money aside, I like Ekiteke for one reason, and that's his uniqueness. I don't see anybody dribble the ball the way that Ekiteke does. He's so nonchalant about the way he approaches. He can go from 0 to 100 in an instant. He's got this swagger to him when he takes players on one-on-one. Rather than the usual modern winger that's just all pace, all athleticism, Ekiteke is a little dirty when he touches the ball. That's it. He hasn't shown that he can score a lot of goals. He hasn't shown that he can get a lot of assists. His numbers are actually pretty good last year, though. It's all potential here. But the reason why I like Ekiteke is simply because he is unique. If you see him touch the ball, you can immediately recognize, oh, that's my boy Hugo out there. So if Liverpool can unlock Ekiteke's full potential, then you have a hell of a player waiting for you.
You just don't think that's a big if?
It's a big if.
I feel like that's a big if.
It's a big if, bro. But I love the potential of taking uniqueness and letting it flourish with goals and assists. It's a rare path, bro. It's rare. Most of the time, there's like a very clear attribute that gets translated over to, like Gyokeres, for example, right?
Yeah.
He's a goal scorer. So you hope you can unlock his potential in the Premier League. But with Ekiteke, it's a little unknown. And that's what I love about it. When you don't fully know how this player is going to flourish. But if he does, bro, if he does, he's going to be like the fans' favorite player.
I just don't know how, though, with the rumors that we're about to sign Isak.
Yeah.
Like, you get Isak, and all of a sudden, I think that narrative goes out the window. It becomes a backup, man. Like, he ain't starting for us.
But unless the potential's a lot higher than anybody thinks. But again, these are all ifs, bro. These are all ifs,
man. Against proven wingers, proven players that I think are better than him right now. I don't know if he gets the opportunity to shine that way in his first season with Liverpool if we get Isak, dude.
Damn, so you...
I think Gakpo... arguably one of our best players last year. I think he's very underrated. He should be starting the left wing. Florian Wirtz behind them. But then there's a question of Szoboszlai. He should be part of the starting 11. It's crazy to envision Liverpool without him starting in the starting lineup. And then Mo Salah on the right. No one's taking his spot. No. And if we get Isak, he's up top. There's no room, man.
No, you're right. Starting 11-wise, there's absolutely zero room. I think Slot has a very big task ahead of him this year as far as rotation's concerned, because I don't want to see another Chiesa. Because let's be honest, bro, he could have used his ass. he should have used Chiesa. But instead, I think Slot got a little stubborn with it, to be completely honest. He didn't want him. So I hope we don't get that with any player that they've signed this year. I hope that Slot has rotation in mind, because if so, then I think Liverpool will have the most deep squad in the UCL, in the Premier League, and any tournament that they partake in. And I think Ekiteke can be very important as far as rotation's concerned, but it's all up to Slot, you're right.
And if Alexander Isak comes to Liverpool, that's another hypothetical that I think could change the landscape of football, because by that point, I think Liverpool becomes the best offensive team in the world if they got Alexander Isak. And that signing for me, if it goes through, I think really just solidifies the whole spiel you had about money not being real.
Yeah.
Because I'm already starting to feel weird about these transfers, bro. Like as a fan, I almost wish I was a Liverpool fan from Liverpool, that I grew up supporting the team my entire life, because I'm feeling spoiled. I'm feeling like I don't even really deserve this, to see us spend like this in the transfer market, and to see Liverpool ascend to the level that they're ascending to right now. It's a lot, bro. They're spending a lot of money, and I understand that. Yes, it didn't spend much last year or the years before that, but still, man, with those ideas in mind, they're spending so much that it's becoming just ridiculous, and it's creating a whole new precedent for the transfer market, summer transfer window, and how other teams can compete against that. Liverpool is just running away with it. If they get Isak, it's game over, brother.
It's game over. I've never seen anything like this, and it's because when you look at all the headlines, it's Arne Slot's overall. It's Arne Slot's overhaul at Liverpool looking amazing. The thing is, when you think of overhaul, it's because the team didn't work the last season. It's because the team finished in 8th place and you're trying to change things.
Yeah.
Arne Slot's getting an overhaul when he won the league last year, and he was the second best team behind PSG, in my opinion.
Yeah.
This is crazy. I've never seen anything like this. The team's completely transforming, and they had just won the Premier League. So this is new ground, new territory. I have no idea what's going to happen. Is this team going to flop because there's just so much change? Or is Slot the greatest manager of all time, and he ends up figuring out how to put all of these pieces together, and he wins a double?
If he does that, man, I mean, this is going to be a masterclass in managing egos, managing talents, managing tactics, because tactically, I mean, these players are just such different profiles. Florian Wirtz can make a whole essay on that guy, on what he's able to do on the field and his versatility. And you already spoke on Hugo Ekiteke almost as if he's this mythical creature with these crazy abilities. And then you got the Egyptian King Mo Salah. I mean, this team is going to be fascinating to watch unfold for the rest of the season, and to see who ends up really solidifying their spot in the starting lineup, and then who Arne Slot rotates out with. In other news, big headline, it's finally been done. It has been secured. Let's stay in the Premier League. Let's keep talking about strikers, because Arsenal finally got their guy. Viktor Gyokeres from Sporting CP makes the move to Arsenal for a reported 64 million euros. Arsenal get the 9 that they have been desperately looking for after a long transfer saga. He's arriving to London. He's here. Viktor Gyokeres has arrived. They didn't care about me until I put the mask on, brother. All right? That guy is here. And he's here to score and bang in goals for his Arsenal team. And according to many Arsenal fans, answer their prayers and lead them to glory.
I thought this transfer was going to go through, man. I really thought. I was like, we're past midway through July. The season starts in 3 weeks. They haven't signed him. I thought something disastrous was going to happen. Viktor Gyokeres' father was starting to air his concerns about the transfer not happening.
That's not good.
I was like, you can't get family involved
you
here.
can't do that.
Well, what's happening here? But it's done. It finally happens. And you're right, bro. Like, Arsenal fans were losing their minds. the desperation that I've seen from Arsenal fans pleading, begging Viktor, the signing to actually be completed, is unreal. But they did it. Here's the thing. I can't speak on Portuguese players. I can't do it.
Felix. Nunez.
Renato Sanchez. But again, the more recent one is Darwin Nunez, who, yes, he did not have quite the numbers of Gyokeres, but dude, he was very close. Very, very close. And the thing is, it's not that Nunez is a bad player, because he's not. He's not. He gets averages like 15 goals a season. Pretty good. The thing is, I think people thought he was going to average 25. Yeah. Massive difference. And I'm talking just domestic numbers. So I think if you're an Arsenal fan, be very careful with what you're asking Viktor Gyokeres to do. And I'm going to be personally hesitant just as a fan, as a neutral of European football. I'm not expecting Gyokeres to pop off the way that I thought Haaland was going to pop off when he moved from Dortmund, the Bundesliga, to Manchester City. Gyokeres is coming from Sporting to Arsenal. Now, the good news is that Arsenal have amazing. Some of the world's best wingers around him. And I think that's going to play a big part as to how successful Gyokeres can be. So there's definitely more positives than I had when Nunez went to Liverpool, for example. But I'm still going to be a little hesitant.
I'll be a little hesitant too, yeah. I think there is... He showcased his talents against top teams in the UCL, Gyokeres. Mm-hmm. He went off against Manchester City. I think he had a hat trick. And I think he kind of answered those questions. Obviously, the transition you never fully know, especially since he's like, 27, 28, 29 years old, I think. Yeah, he's not a young player. Yeah. And so what you get is going to be it. And it's just a matter of how it looks. I think those first couple of weeks might be a little nerve-wracking for Arsenal fans to see what kind of player that we just signed. Because there is that somewhat big what if of... What if he doesn't pan out? What if he gets a little nervous and we get a Darwin Nunez type 2 example here? But nah, man, I feel pretty good about it. I think Gyokeres will fit into this lineup the way that they've been desperately wanting a player to fit into. Saka is going to feed him. Trossard can feed him. Martinelli can feed him. And now you have Ndoye as well who can feed him too. I think it's all lining up for, I would say, 20 goals in the Prem. I'm giving him 20 in the Prem.
That would be really, really good. I'm curious to see how Arteta actually handles having a number 9. What if he just doesn't start him? He's like, I don't know how to use him. No, but I think Gyokeres is going to be good. I just don't think he's going to get like 25 or higher. But which is, the thing is,
25 or higher in just the Prem?
That's the Prem.
Tough. That's tough.
And it sounds like everyone thinks he is, which is why I'm being vocal about that. But I mean, outside of that,
but he doesn't need to for Arsenal. I think, hope not. I think you get 20 from your striker in this Arsenal team when your winger can get 15 for you in Bukayo Saka. Mm-hmm. You don't need 30, 35, I think, to fight for the title.
True. I think what they really need is just a clinical striker when a game is tight.
Exactly.
Those classic 1-1s where Arsenal did not win the last 3 years, that's when you need Gyokeres to step up, you're right.
That's what they need. I think they got it. I really do. I'm optimistic on Gyokeres and what he can do for his Arsenal team. But these fans are excited. The fan base is riling up for what could be a very, very big signing. And I think it just sets up the Premier League to be an incredibly watchable, exciting league next year with all the major teams making major big money moves.
Just want to add, just flash signing. Nottingham Forest just got Ndoye. I want to add to that because it's a brilliant signing. Player, been a big fan of him since his FC Basel days and that Conference League run that he made. He's been amazing for Switzerland since he's been getting the call-up of these last 2 seasons. He's fantastic for Bologna and Serie A. He's direct. He is the perfect Anthony Elanga replacement. I didn't think Nottingham could do it, but my God, they've done it. Ndoye, brilliant signing.
How much did it cost them?
I think it was like 30 or 40.
Yeah, and they were able to keep Morgan Gibbs-White, which is good. That was a whole saga, and had he left, that could have been the heartbeat of this Nottingham Forest team. Yeah. So they were able to keep him. Flash signing, Jhon Arias from Fluminense, who went off at the Club World Cup, gets his big money move, $15 million, to Wolverhampton Wanderers. He's joining Wolves, baby. The Colombian Pelé is how they held him at one point, scoring big goals, going to Copa Libertadores finals and winning them. Jhon Arias will be in the Prem. I think that's an exciting signing because I do think he has the qualities to be able to thrive in this league and be one of those underrated players that's always a threat offensively in the Prem.
Agreed. Wolves signing more South American talent, Brazilian-based, but this time Colombian. I mean, we saw Arias pop off for Fluminense, not just at the Club World Cup, but low-key the last couple of seasons. He's slotted himself as a starter now for Colombia as well. He's a top winger, but he's not your modern winger. He likes to pass. He likes to cut inside. He slows things down while still being very, very dangerous. That's why I like Arias. Just real quick on Fluminense, I wonder if Martinelli, their midfielder, if he's going to make a move. I think he's just as talented. We saw another Fluminense midfielder move to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Actually, Andre made the move last year. So I think out of Andre, Jhon Arias, and Martinelli, now Martinelli's the only one I think that deserves a European move.
Staying in the Prem, we had more flash signings, although this one we can focus in on a little bit. Mbeumo has made the move to join Matheus Cunha, who made the move from Wolverhampton Wolves. Mbeumo is Manchester United's next big signing as they spend a total of $150 million on both Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha. From Brentford to Man United for 71 million euros. great signing for one of the most underrated players in the Prem and most consistent as well, averaging 20 goals and assists, I think, for like the past 6 years, bro,
Dude.
for a mid-table side. The Cameroon player will be playing for Manchester United at Old Trafford. An exciting signing, in my opinion.
Agreed. I praised the Cunha signing in our last video. I'm going to praise this one just as high. This is a brilliant signing. And Mbeumo's another player that doesn't really rely on the form of his teammates. He gets the ball and he goes. He's a fantastic player. His finishing is underrated, honestly. He's a very good finisher, considering that he's not just an out-and-out striker. But I think the bigger news here for me is R.I.P. Brentford, man. They've lost everybody.
Everyone.
And it's been a slow death for Brentford. But I think finally with Mbeumo and now Thomas Frank leaving,
Yeah, man.
I think this team is going to have to go through a very tough couple of years as they try to figure out who they now are over the next 5 years, because the Brentford that got promoted and that has stayed in the Premier League is gone.
Yeah, and their dad left them. Like, Thomas Frank leaving is the nail in the coffin for me. I think he was ultimately keeping that club together and competing consistently to be a mid-table team in the Prem, which is very, very impressive. And I think it's something that should be highlighted, what they were able to do in the Prem. I just think it's going to get very, very difficult now with a new manager who has a big responsibility at hand with much weaker players, in my opinion. So Kelleher's there.
Hey,
maybe you can save him, but he's got a fucking job to do now.
He's going to be the only reason why I watch Brentford games, by the way, is Kelleher. Probably my favorite backup goalkeeper of all time. Now he's getting the start. Come on.
Manchester United news. We also had Marcus Rashford make the loan move from Manchester United to the very prestigious Barcelona. Barcelona make a move in the summer transfer window that isn't regarding a goalkeeper. They get an offensive player. They get Marcus Rashford, who I think immediately slots in to their offensive depth lineup, because when you look at the team, you see the injuries that they went through last year with Rafinha, Yamal, Lewandowski. It's nice to have those backups. Ferran Torres showed out for them last year. Rashford, I think, now becomes a weapon for them up front if they choose to have him. Great moments for Aston Villa, although sporadic at times, but he had some great Champions League moments with him. And in big games, he does have a tendency to sometimes show up. There is that potential. So I think it's a good opportunity for Marcus Rashford to excite his career once again following this stint with Aston Villa.
That's how I see this. Rashford needs to reinvigorate his career. He's going to a big club that was very successful last season, is looking to continue and improve upon those performances. Rashford himself, I think, improved last year by making that move to Villa and just trying something new. United clearly wasn't it. He hadn't been relevant at United, honestly, for the last 4 seasons. So I think this is a really good opportunity, basically as a fresh start for Rashford. Yes, it's a loan, but I mean, hopefully this becomes permanent or he goes somewhere else next year. I'm looking for good performances. I'm looking to see him slot in rotation. He's the Ferran Torres, basically, of this Barcelona team. It'll be Torres and Rashford coming off the bench, trying to make a difference, giving Lewandowski, Rafinha, and Yamal a bit of rest when they need it. I like the sign. I'm curious to see what Barcelona fans think, because Rashford's not the best player, right? But I think his skill set will translate over to La Liga very well.
Yeah, and I think it just continues to show, I guess, the inactivity of Barcelona. Like, at the end of the day, it's just a loan move that they're getting here. And yeah, I thought by this point now, we had this conversation a few weeks ago. I thought by now they would have done something bigger. Not gonna lie.
Don't talk.
But they're staying like this.
Barcelona,
they're staying like this.
Infrastructure, man.
They're staying like this.
Because have you also heard that they're still pushing back the Camp Nou opening?
Really?
Yeah. Again, they're asking UEFA to move their Champions League home games because it's not going to be ready in time.
Really?
Yep.
Ah.
Yeah, very, very annoying because it just keeps getting pushed back and pushed back. I will say, though, and I also want to know the Barca fans' thoughts on this. Have you seen their new away kit?
Mm-mm.
Kobe Bryant inspired Mamba mentality. They, instead of the Nike emblem, they have Bryant's emblem. And
wow.
And also the jersey itself looks like snake skin.
Really?
Yeah, like it's like scaly, like a snake.
Huh.
Low key fire.
Think so?
Fire jerseys.
When they get too creative like that, sometimes I get a little hesitant.
Yeah.
So I need to see it. I need to see it.
They're actually really, really cool. Might have to cop me one. Just
Damn.
I'm a huge Bryant fan.
Well, yeah, that's
R.I.P.
a
by the
big
way.
one right there. But yeah, Barcelona. Thank God for La Masia. Thank God, because I think that's what's going to carry them once again this year to being a top 3 team in the world is their talent.
One player that I'm honestly really surprised did not make a move, and I thought he was going to go to Barcelona. It's Nico Williams, bro. What ends up happening instead is he signs a 10-year contract. I thought I was reading an MLB post. A 10-year contract with Atletico. Yeah. He's staying.
He's staying,
baby. He's staying for the long run.
Yes, sir.
Here's the thing.
It's amazing, man. It's beautiful. What are you talking about? You've argued. You wanted this in the past. Nico staying, baby.
I both love it and equally hate it. Here's why I love it. It's exactly that for that reason. Williams now has a chance to basically become legend. Legend. The best athletic player of all time. Nico Williams, his name is going to be there if he just continues on his trajectory and if loyalty really is something he's all about with this athletic team. I think it's dope. He'll be the go-to guy. He'll eventually become the captain. There'll be 3 different eras of athletic teams and they'll all have Nico Williams in it. I think that's the beautiful thing about it. The only negative, and it's just neutral, is you'd like to see that talent play somewhere else because we saw what Athletic did last year and it's always the same goddamn thing. It's never top 3 La Liga. Never. And it's never anything in Europe. They got close in the Europa League, but then they got thrashed against a team who was battling relegation in the Prem.
Yeah.
So I get frustrated when it comes to Atletic's actual chances of succeeding.
But does he get in to the starting lineup of any top 5 team in world football? I don't know if he does, bro. Doesn't get into Bayern's. Doesn't get into Liverpool's. Doesn't get into Barca's.
No, he wouldn't. No.
Doesn't get into PSG's.
No.
Because that's the thing. He's good, but he's not like the greatest winger right now.
Right.
Doesn't get into Arsenal. Maybe Arsenal. but I'm just saying that we've seen him be able to achieve international success while playing at Athletic. I think that's a good sign.
Absolutely.
Because that's why you wanted to play high level football so that he can shine at the World Cup, shine at the Euros. Well, he was able to do that at the Euros while playing for Athletic and winning the Europa League as well. I think this is it, man. This is truly it. And I think ultimately for the skill level that he's at, it's a good move because if he was a few points better, then I might have that perspective.
I like that.
But he just can't get into those top teams right now, I think.
And I think truly, this is actually, he's setting a good example because you look at a player like Antony, for example, it was kind of clear that he's at a very specific level, and it's that Ajax Real Betis level. You try and put him anywhere higher, and he fails. And maybe Williams, low-key, kind of sees that in himself. He knows exactly who he is. He knows exactly what works for him. And it's that Basque athletic style. So why not commit to it for 10 years and pop off? I love it.
Pop off, man. I'm all for it. Let's see what he can do. He's got job security. He's got tenure. I think it's a good thing. And Nico Williams will continue to ball out and hold that left-wing position for the Spanish national team. So it's at the end of the day, I think it's all positives here. 2 moves from Atletico Madrid totaling in $40 million euros spent. You got David Hancko and Marc Pubill. Reaction to those signings?
Hancko, I love. I thought we were going to get him last year. We tried to get him last year. He had an amazing Euros performances. And he's Atleti all the way, bro. He's aggressive. He's very physical. Considering that we've let go of a couple of our old defenders and we bring in a guy like Hancko, I think he's going to reinvigorate this back line. Very excited for Hancko. Pubill, I mean, personally, I don't really know much about this guy. So
14 million.
Yeah.
It's a good amount.
I'll take him.
To not know about.
I'll take him.
All right, we'll find out about him. He's a lower level signing. Let's see what he can do this year.
We'll see what he can do this year. I mean, I'd honestly be surprised if he gets a lot of playing time, but maybe his rotation. I'd be fine with that. Staying in La Liga, this is a quick soundbite here. Getafe just signed 17-year-old fullback, okay? He was playing in the Spanish 3rd division.
All right, let's wrap it up. All right.
Last year. And here's why he's notable. The name, David Mancha. But his nickname, the nickname that he wears on his jersey, Davinchi.
David Mancha Davinchi.
I want the name Davinchi trending in 2027. I hope this kid pops off solely because of the name. That's a ridiculous name, bro. Davinchi?
That's too far, man. The Spaniards have outdone themselves here, man. That's too far, brother. Davinchi?
No, come on, bro.
He's got to be good then. He's got to be somewhat good.
Well, Getafe will find out, man. He's young. He's 17.
He couldn't go anywhere else? Fucking hell.
I want to do rapid fire segment.
Oh, nice.
Serie A. All right? I'm talking rapid fire here. Napoli, reigning champions. Antonio Conte. They've signed Noah Lang. Got the double-double last year in the Eredivisie. Honestly, I think he's a great winger. He popped off at Bruges. We like Bruges on this channel, so it's good. Also, obviously, Kevin De Bruyne.
De Bruyne?
Very, very interesting. An older De Bruyne, but honestly, I think he's going to be completely fine at Napoli.
Yeah.
Like, I really do think so. So, really good for that. Really, really good
and
for
then
Napoli.
they got the striker, right? Because they were going to sign Nunez, but they got Lecce or something like that. They got a striker.
Luca. From Udinese. Yeah. I saw him play last year. He's good. He's good. Maybe he's better at Napoli.
No.
Inter Milan. All right, very quickly here. They get another striker, Ange Joan Boni, the Frenchman, also played for Udinese. Actually, sorry. Played for Parma. Also, he's good. Kind of surprised considering that, you already have Thuram and Lautaro Martinez. I don't know why you'd get him, to be completely honest. The transfer I'm excited about, Luis Enrique, coming from France. We were very critical last year of Inter Milan's lack of dynamic midfielders. This is a step in the right direction. I don't think he's the guy you would probably exactly want, but it's a step in the right direction. Good for Inter Milan.
AC Milan, I saw they got Pervis Estupiñán from Brighton, which actually saddens me for Estupiñán. I wish he would have stayed, if I'm being honest. But he did have a bit of an injury spell with Brighton coming on and off, but when he was on the field, he was great. Just couldn't find that consistency. Maybe the change of scenery, Italy. I think he gets that starting position, especially with, I think, though, Hernandez leaving the team. So Pervis Estupiñán is a great replacement. Honestly, huge get for AC Milan. I don't know if this is an upwards move for Estupiñán, which is crazy to say in 2025, but if you were saying this in 2000, that going from Brighton to AC Milan wasn't an upgrade, you'd call me crazy, but nowadays, I think the Prem is just so high level, and AC Milan had a terrible year last year that, I don't know, it could be on the same level.
Damn, dude, that's actually a great point. For Milan, it's the perfect signing due to Theo Hernandez leaving, but for Estupiñán, this is probably lateral move.
Yeah.
It might be.
Might.
It might be just one step down, but shit.
I guess the history would make it a better move for AC Milan. The San Siro, the allure. I think that's what makes it a little better. But right now, in terms of level quality, I think Brighton could definitely take AC Milan.
Definitely. Atalanta lose Retegui. And I only bring this up because he's in his prime. He scored 25 goals in Serie A last year. And he's not going to a European club. He's going to Saudi Arabia. Al-Qadsia.
Damn, man.
Yeah,
joining Quiñones. And I wonder how Italians feel about this, because he's set to be their guy up top for him. Wouldn't you want your main dude to be playing high-level football? Like, I do think it matters in this case. Because he's good, man. He could have made another move upwards.
I know.
To go to Saudi Arabia is, at this age, it's crazy. 56 million, I think, is what I saw was reported for him, which was a lot. But yeah, Retegui going to Saudi Arabia now might end up biting him in the ass, dude.
100%. That's what really rubs me the wrong way about this signing. Juventus, Jonathan David. I'm nervous simply because if Juve is becoming the Manchester United of Italy, then this is going to ruin David's career. This is going to ruin it, man.
Are they there yet? Are they that club now?
I hope not. That's the thing. They're not there yet. But they're on the trajectory, but I hope they can steer clear of it and just change things, and maybe David changes it. Because Juventus have not had a clinical striker for years, man. They've tried to find it in Vlahovic, didn't work out. They're trying to find it with Nico Gonzalez, it didn't work out. They've tried to find it with Kolo Muani, maybe it's going to work out, still hasn't really worked out. They need a goal scorer. They need a guy who can score 20 goals a season. David's done it in France. I'm curious to see if he can do it with this low-key lackluster side in Juventus, but again, there's a lot of potential on this Juve side. I will say there's a lot of young players, so maybe they can change the way things are going at Juve. It's all about youth here, but it can get scary when if they start downward spiraling, then all of David's goals are they're not gonna come anymore. And That's why I'm a little worried about this sign. Just Juventus specifically gets me nervous.
Huge moment, big moment for David in his career. I wonder if he had other offers beyond Juventus. Like, why would he end up going there? I think he has a skill set to have been in the Prem, to have been in La Liga, but he goes to Italy instead. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping for the best, though. I do like Jonathan David a lot, and I like what he did at Lille. I want to see him thrive. Wait and see with this one.
And to end, have you seen what's going on at Como?
I've seen for the past 2 years that they've been making crazy signings. They got Varane, I think, at one point.
Yeah.
They've made just weird, big name, big money move signings, but I haven't seen who they got this transfer window.
So here's the thing. At the end of the day, no big names, right? No huge names, if you will, but they've spent over 100 million euros.
Wow.
And they finished like low-key lower mid-table. And a club to be able to do that, I don't know what investors are a part of this Como side. Obviously, I know Como's a beautiful place in Italy. So maybe the fact that once they got promoted, they're like, let's just pump money into this club and see if we can make them big, man. Because 100 million euros for a mid-table Italian side, something fishy's going on at Como. But maybe it ends up being good. Again, a lot of just interesting players. Jesus Rodriguez, youngster from Real Betis. Nicolas Kuhn, good winger from Celtic. But then we got names like Baturina, Adai, Perrone from Manchester City, right? Valle from Barcelona.
Wow.
Right? It's a lot of young players. But yeah, 100 million for lower mid-table Italian side. That'll just be something to keep an eye on.
I need to see it pay off, man. I really do, because to see them in the top 5 of Italy after investing that much would be really cool to see. I think I saw a similar type of vibe from Paris FC too in Ligue 1, spending a lot of money. It's these interesting teams, man. These teams are getting investors from everywhere, man. It seems like everyone wants to invest nowadays, and money is just being thrown around. Will it pay off? We'll find out, man. It's been an interesting summer transfer window so far, but folks, let me know what stood out to you so far. What big signings do you have an opinion about? Let us know in the comment section down below. React to any of the signings that we pointed out. We'll be talking to you guys in the comment section. We will see you guys very, very soon. Till next time, peace.